When it comes to rock and roll royalty, one name rises above everyone else: Elvis Presley. I'm One Bad Comic, and this is Vinyl Snax. What's up, vinyl heads? Welcome to another episode of Vinyl Snax, baby. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Big shout out to all my regulars, the people following, sharing, liking my content. Make sure you guys subscribe. I truly appreciate all the love you guys are giving me from the bottom of my heart. And if you're new to the channel, what's up, homie? Welcome to my channel. It's pretty much where I talk about my vinyl collection, and I pick a record every week, and I talk a little bit of the history of the artist and why I picked the record. Today's episode is real cool because Elvis is out right now, the movie. I haven't seen it. I've heard really good things about it, so I'm really looking forward to watching it. I like Elvis. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm definitely a fan. Like I have plenty of Elvis records. Great, amazing voice. And so today I thought I'd talk about my favorite Elvis record that I own, and so it's this one right here. Elvis sings "How Great Thou Art." Super neat record. Elvis was actually born Elvis Aaron Presley, with two A's, by the way. So I don't know if it's true or not, but I read somewhere that on his gravestone, it has it misspelled as Aaron with one A. Because some say he's not dead. The king is alive and he's working for the CIA. Just playing. I don't know. I didn't really check, but I might check it out and find out if it's true, if he only has one A on his gravesite. What's up, vinyl heads? So I'm lounging right now at the pad, and turns out I actually looked this up. The story's a little different. Actually, his name is Elvis Aaron Presley with two A's. But Elvis Presley would sign his name with one A. His gravesite actually has the two A's, which is correct. But for whatever reason, Elvis Presley would spell his names with one A. So I thought I'd give you guys a little update on that information. So it's kind of fake news, kind of not. I guess it confused people because of the way Elvis Presley would sign his name. But technically, it's correct. It's two A's. Let's get back to it, baby. But he was actually born Elvis Aaron Presley on January 8th, 1935 in Tupelo, Mississippi. Tupelo. In Spanish, it's Tupelo. But Tupelo, Mississippi. Obviously is known as the king of rock and roll, man. He started really young. He was active from 1953 to 1977 when he passed away. His career mainly kicked off when he signed to a little record label with a guy named Sam Phillips. To a record label, probably my favorite record label of all time, Sun Records. Now, this guy, Sam Phillips, was able to find some of the best artists and put them all together under his record label. So he got to sign Elvis Presley. At some point, he had Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, he had Roy Orbison, and the man himself, Johnny Cash, were all signed at some point to Sun Records. It's so neat because these are huge artists. To this day, they're still they're legends. But they were all together. But they would always be recording separately, different times. They went on tour a couple of times, so that's kind of where they all came up. But when it came to recording, they really didn't get to co-create, except for, I think, one time where by chance all of these artists were together at Sun Studios at the same time, and they recorded the session. Somebody just pressed record and just started recording them. Like they were not even trying to do it. They were just kind of fooling around, and then they started just playing songs and singing things together, and that went on to be known as the $1 Million Quartet. If you get a chance, look up the $1 Million Quartet. I think they even made like a play out of it, like a Broadway play or something. But yes, if you get a chance, look up the $1 Million Quartet, and you could just hear them just going off and riffing and trying out songs. It was so neat to hear, because it's a session, it's not like a recording, so you could just hear them like starting, stopping, and I don't like that, play like this, and then you could just hear them all going back and forth with each other. It's so neat. So I highly recommend checking out the $1 Million Quartet. His first his first number one hit was Heartbreak Hotel, which is a great song. He has such a cool voice, didn't he? Like, you know what I mean? I thought that was, nobody can imitate this man. There's nobody that sounds like him. Nobody that can do what he does. The man was just made to do what he did. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, his first number one hit was Heartbreak Hotel. Not only did that, he also made films. His first film that he made was one called Love Me Tender. He did another one called Jailhouse Rock, Blue Hawaii, Viva Las Vegas. I've never seen an Elvis movie. I've always been interested in watching it. Maybe I will. I'll check one out. And I've never really checked his acting chops, but apparently he did pretty good because he did a lot of movies. So he did a lot of he changed the game, dude. He really did. He changed the game a lot. I believe in 1973, he made the first concert by a solo artist to be broadcast around the world. So he was the first one that did this concert that was broadcast around the entire planet. So I thought that was really cool. It's hardcore. That's how huge of an artist this guy was. In 1977, he passed away, and he died on his toilet. He died on his throne, yo. The man died on his throne. And it's funny because from what I read, his girlfriend at the time, I believe her name was Ginger, told him not to fall asleep in the bathroom, which apparently I guess that's what he would do. He would fall asleep in the bathroom. And I know that at that time he was having issues with drug addiction or pills. I don't know what kind of pills he was taking, but he was definitely on some at that time. And she told him, don't fall asleep in the bathroom. And his last words to anybody was, I won't. But he did, and he died on the toilet. But yeah, man, that was it, man. That's the man. He sold over 500 million records worldwide, yo. Worldwide, man. I thought that was super cool. That's to this day. I mean, he's still selling. He's still hitting the charts. So it's real cool that they finally made a movie about him, and I'm really, really interested in watching it. But again, just this everlasting legacy that Elvis Presley has made. I wanted to get more deeper into the history of him and maybe do a little bit more, but I'm actually going to be doing a couple more Elvis albums. So I kind of want to save a little bit. This one was just kind of generalized because I actually wanted to talk more about the meaning of the record for me. I chose this specific record, and I say a lot because I think this is probably my favorite Elvis record because it has a lot of sentimental value for me. The reason why I like this record so much is because it reminds me of my mom. When I was young, I grew up with a very religious background. Like my dad still is. He's a preacher, so I grew up I grew up in a Christian home, and most of the things that were played in my home was gospel music. And to this day, I have so many gospel records because I'm not like all the way religious myself. I mean, I do try to connect with my higher power as much as I can, and but I've always really, throughout my life, have enjoyed gospel music. Gospel music has always been a big part of my life. And I just always try to collect anything that's gospel, especially like old traditional gospel, because that's kind of how I grew up. And it just reminds me of growing up with my family and things like that. So there's all that sentimental value. And she had this, I remember she had this on a cassette, this album. She had this on a cassette. And we used to have this Corolla, like an old Corolla, and you had the cassette player, and she would play this all the time. And I remember I loved it so much. Like, I remember I would listen to it, and I really enjoyed it. This was actually my first exposure to Elvis, to be honest. Like, I knew about him, I had seen stuff, but to really listen to his music, this was actually the first, my first exposure to Elvis was through his gospel music. I highly recommend this album. If you look in the front of the album, it's pretty much a picture of Elvis Presley, really young picture of him, and he's in front of this this church, and yeah, it's a really cool, neat church. It looks classic, dude, right? This is exactly how you think of a church of back in the day looks like. And it just says, "How great thou art," as sung by Elvis. So it's really kind of a basic record here. In the back, it's a picture of him just standing there in a super neat white suit with them leather black shiny boots, looking all cool. I'm digging that suit, yo. Look at that. That's so cool. And that's pretty much it. On the right side, you see pretty much the track listing. At the bottom, it says, by request in this album. By request. In this album, Elvis's single hit, Crying in the Chapel, which is a really, really good song, man. I love when Elvis sings with the least amount of music as possible, because he has such a great voice that you just want to hear all of it. Like, he's so good. He could sing with or without. He could sing a cappella and still make a great song out of it. But Crying in the Chapel is definitely one of the best songs on this album. So yeah, guys, yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the album that probably my favorite record. Just like I said, very sentimental value to me. It reminds me of my mom and my upbringing and where I came from. So I just thought I'd share this really little special record with you guys. And if you guys want to share, what's your favorite song on the album if you've heard it? And also, what's your favorite Elvis song, or what's your favorite Elvis track? Give me some facts about Elvis. I'd love to know in the comments. Let's engage. But again, I guess that's it for today. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Hopefully I catch the movie this week, and I'll talk about it maybe later on the next episode and see how I liked it. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I appreciate you hanging out with me, baby. I'll catch you in the next episode of Vinyl Snax, baby. Peace!